us Roberts boys, not very athletic. Well, hey guys. This week we talked about something that Jesus didn't say, but culture sometimes says, is just do what you want, or maybe do what makes you feel happy. So first we're gonna go around and sort of tell some stories about times when we did what we wanted and it probably didn't work out too well, as it normally doesn't. But we're gonna go around and tell those stories, and then we'll talk a little bit of application at the end. But Kayla, you wanna go first? No? Luke, do you wanna go first?
Sure.
Because I don't know what story to tell.
Sure. So I can think of a real distinct time growing up. I was a freshman in high school, dating an 8th grader. Pause. Horrible idea, don't do that. That's not even the biggest fail of this, but that's a big fail right there. That was a bad idea. So if you're a freshman dating an 8th grader, you need to question your life choices. So I'm a freshman dating an 8th grader. And freshman year was a big deal at my school. And also a big deal in my school was class rings. Like class rings were a thing. Like there were those massive honking, like expensive ring that said, hey, I'm supposed to graduate in 3.5 more years. So like I go home that night, the salesman came into our cafeteria and was like, all the cool kids are wearing them. And I'm like, I gotta have one. So I go home that night and I'm like, Mom, Dad, listen, I gotta have a class ring. All my friends are getting them. Like, my hands won't grow. I'm a full-size grown man at age 14 right now, Mom. There's no reason to get the insurance plan. Just get me the ring. All heresy. It was ridiculous. And I convinced my parents, so we get a class ring. So the class ring comes in, and from that time where we bought it to where they come in, like I got a girlfriend in the 8th grade. Now, full disclaimer, so the school I went to, the high school is on one side of the road, and then middle school and elementary school on the other side of the road, and my mom was an elementary school teacher. So the night my class ring comes in, my mom and dad are like, listen, this is an expensive gift. You need to take care of this. You need to make sure you take good care of this. Like don't lose it. Don't leave it laying around. Don't give it to your girlfriend. And I don't want to see it like hanging on her neck or like all shimmed up on her finger. And the next day, y'all, she walks by my mom's classroom rocking my class ring. What was I thinking? Like, holy cow, I know you bought it for me, Mom and Dad. You spent hundreds of dollars for me, Mom and Dad, but I'm just gonna do what I want. And all I could think about was making my girl happy, because, you know, in 8th grade and freshman year, you're gonna marry this girl. Like, you know what love really is, right? So like, the trust that I breached with my parents in less than a 24-hour period was just catastrophic, and I made a horrible mistake, and like I felt so guilty because she tells me, like I get like a little note that says, hey, I went by your mom's class today, and instantly I knew my mom saw it. I know my mom saw it, and I got home from school, she saw it. It was a rough day at the Smith house.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should feel bad about that one.
Bold defiance, but were you happy?
I mean, for the day, I was real happy.
Until you got consequences.
Post-school. Oral.
Oh, that's funny.
All right, I'll tell mine. So me and my brother, he's 5 years older than me, we used to ride bikes all the time. And when you're young and you ride bikes, you like to try to show off and do tricks and whatnot. So we would stand on the seat and hold on to the handlebars, which not like the most dangerous thing in the world, but it's not great. I wouldn't recommend it necessarily. But we got pretty good at it, and Mom was cool with us doing it as long as we didn't take one of our hands off, or take both of our hands off. So we sort of like tried to cross the line a little bit when we started doing one-handed, and we were pretty good at that. We didn't fall or anything. But then one day, my brother actually lets go of both hands, and wouldn't you know it, Mom was right. The front wheel, he was going pretty fast probably, and the front wheel just completely turns sideways and throws him off, and he hits the ground, gets all scratched up and whatnot. And I think that's probably the day that we realized that sometimes parents are right. And we wanted to look so cool just freaking standing on the top of that bike, but he didn't look very cool.
He should have tried to jump off.
I don't think it occurred to him that he could fall.
Land on your feet.
This is not how this is supposed to go.
Also, us Roberts boys, not very athletic, so there's no chance of him landing.
That's awesome.
So he did what he wanted. So
Yeah, he did what he wanted, and he reaped what he sowed.
And I think an important lesson there, like learning life lessons where you don't have to experience the pain is always a win.
Watch your brother screw up instead of you
And
doing
smash his face on the ground.
Don't repeat the mistake.
it. Yeah.
That's awesome. In high school, I had a good group of friends, and we had like some adult leaders like we have here at 912. And one night, we decided that we were going to go toilet paper some people's houses. So I had permission. We went out, and you have to remember, like, this is before cell phones. So there was no really way to contact us once we were gone. So they didn't really tell me what time to be home.
You got a phone I can use? I got to call my mom back here real quick.
No.
Got a signal for my beeper.
You there? Well, there
Your
were
beeper.
Yes, there were pagers. I didn't have one, but the adults that we were with had them. So anyway, we go out, and like the first place that we go to toilet paper, these people's house, they like kind of caught us, like they saw us, so we ran away.
They kind of caught
well,
you?
like they didn't like grab a hold of us and like, hey, they just saw
Just
us.
yelled, "Get
Hey,
off
you!"
my lawn. Yeah.
Yes.
Kaylee, I know it's you!
They yelled at us. So we left there. Long story short, I didn't get home till very, very late.
Or early.
Well, yes. And my parents were really unhappy. And when I walked in the door, they were like, "We've called every hospital." And
Oh my.
oh yeah, they
were they telling the truth? Did they really call the
I believe
hospitals?
that they did.
Oh my god.
Hello, Louisville?
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
All
So
the way
I got
down
in
to Georgia.
trouble. I was happy at the time doing what I thought.
fun.
I mean, I thought in some ways I was okay. Like, I didn't realize it was going to be a big deal, but it was a really big deal.
You ever apologize? Maybe this is your chance.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mom, Dad, I'm
Robin,
sorry.
Jenny.
I did apologize.
That's good.
And the youth leaders that I were with apologized as well.
That's the worst.
Yeah, I guess I didn't always know I was doing something wrong, but I got in a lot of trouble.
You still did what you wanted.
I did do what I wanted.
It's so selfish.
I also couldn't drive, so I was sort of along for the ride.
Yeah.
But that excuse came
That's a bad excuse.
Yeah, it did not work. It
I
did
wasn't
not
driving.
work.
Buy me a car, Mom, and I would have came home on time.
It did not work at all. Yeah.
So those are just a few lighthearted stories, but another thing we want to acknowledge is not every story ends in you can laugh about it a year later. Sometimes when you do things, when you do what you want to do, it can end up being horrible, bad decisions.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to talk some application now.
Sure. I think like when he says some things end badly, like it may not always end badly for you, but the consequences that it has for other people sometimes can be really bad
Yeah.
and hurtful.
For me, when I'm trying to combat sort of, here's what I want to do, here's what I should do, oftentimes, I guess what I try to do is just be aware, like this is my human impulse here. Or when I know I should do something right, I just say, well, this is a time when I can actually be disciplined and do the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I need to self-talk some to where I understand what's going on. And for me to say, hey, I'm being selfish right now, it helps me make a right decision, you know?
How do you know when it's being selfish though? Because I think
I have to reason through it every
Yeah.
time. Especially when, like, normally it's not just an immediate decision. It's like, let's think about this. Now, sometimes it's not.
Sure.
But if I'm thinking about it, I need to be able to separate, here's what I want, here's what I think is right. You know what I mean?
I think to go along with that, I think sometimes our negative response is an immediate decision. Like if you say, can you help me do this? Like I'll oftentimes like, no. Like it's immediate. There's no thought process. So I think there's like an advantage to thinking it through or maybe even
Yeah.
pausing and backing up. Like there's been times
Like,
somebody's
slow down a little bit.
Somebody said, hey, can you help me out with this or do this? And my immediate response is, I ain't got time for that, or I'm busy, or I don't
Yeah.
want to. And then like to slow down and say like, okay, that was a pretty selfish motive to say, I didn't want to do that.
Yeah, that's good.
I think that this is a idea that like is kind of foreign because everything that you're going to hear is do what makes you happy, or if it feels good then it must be right, or like why would you do something that you don't enjoy, or why would you like not pursue happiness at all costs. And I think that like what Luke was saying on Sunday, like it matters like what your priorities are. It matters like what's the end goal here. Because if the end goal is to make ourselves happy at every moment, then like that's kind of scary.
We're gonna
It can
fail.
lead to a lot of
Right?
things.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I think even like, as far as like, as you get older professionally or even in the sports you're in now, or like class ranks even, like the things that can be so manipulative to try to like elevate ourselves,
Yeah.
like to get more playing time, to get more notification, to get like more followers, more likes. Like
Yeah.
sometimes we inadvertently fall into that trap, and it's just, man, it just sucks the life out of you. And it almost like shields Jesus from being seen in you because of this selfishness. Like it can't compete.
Even separating right from wrong and stuff like that, or like setting that aside. Sometimes me doing something that makes me happy right now, pretty much always is not going to make me happy in the future too. So like, even if you separate, I need to do right, like you're going to get it wrong pretty much all the time. If my whole life is just make Dave happy, I'm going to make stupid decisions either way, So like, let's make right decisions and whatnot. So.
And I think your perspective has a lot to do with this too. We talk a lot about in serving, like one of the most fulfilling things we can do as humans is to serve other people. But like in our initial response, like Dave said, isn't to think like that.
Yeah.
It's not to think like, to me, in my mind, it's more fulfilling to be entertained by sticking my face in TikTok than it is to go help my little sister learn how to play basketball, right? So like, without thinking that through, without taking those, like to see global picture, big picture, I think we miss out on so much.
So I think like for me, knowing myself, that takes like a couple steps, like recognizing the options that I have right there. Like, okay, yes, I could look at TikTok for hours, or I could go do this. Like, I think it takes that, and then it takes understanding like my own personal tendencies towards what I would rather do. And then the next step is to choose something different. And I think sometimes people even get to that point and still don't do it. You have to choose on purpose to do something different, because for, I think most of us, like that's not natural.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't think.
And I think to go along with that, like I think for us, we don't necessarily ask this question, but we're asking this question, like, what can I get out of this? What will I gain from this? And while that's not always bad,
Sure.
like, I go to school because I can get smarter out of this. Like, that's a good thing. Like, if that's my singular motivation,
Yeah.
or my reason not to do something, because you can't provide anything for me, because I'm not going to get any better at basketball by
Right.
playing with my little sister, because I'm, then I think there's got to be like some self-reflection there to say like, this isn't what life is about, and this isn't how the best can come out of me and the best can grow in me, because it is selfish motives.
And what we say, like pretty much any example we've said so far is sort of like there's a clear right path and a clear wrong path. And that's not how decisions work normally. It's normally not that simple. So just speaking directly to you guys, like if you have issues or have a struggle finding out, okay, what's the right decision for me? You're allowed to ask. You don't have to make every decision on your own. You can ask your small group leader, ask your parents, ask people you trust. Like that's always a good way to figure out the right path. You know what I mean? So.
And I think just for me as a clarifier, qualifier too, is always asking that question, like, am I erring on the side of helping someone? Am I erring on the side of helping someone do something else? Like when mom says, can you take out the trash? Like, I don't want to take out the trash, but I'm going to err on the side of honoring my mom.
Yeah.
And while maybe it's not my turn and it's not my chore and it's raining out and I've got a million reasons not to, I'm going to err on the side of, it's not about me. How can I help? What can I do to help?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna always make sure that I err on that side. I mean,
Sure.
I feel like even if I'm wrong in that side, I'm still accomplishing something good.
Right.
And I don't want to be the selfish guy.
Yeah, that's good. It's really good.
Awesome. Well, I think that's all we've got for you.
I think we have a couple announcements, right?
Announcements, yes.
Luke.
Yeah, you got an announcement?
This coming Sunday night, we're gonna attempt something completely brand new.
Oh.
While we still miss getting together and seeing your faces and hugging, high-fiving, fist bumping, nose to fist, whatever the accommodations are. Easy.
Punching people.
Social distancing.
It was the air.
This coming Sunday night, we're gonna host a 912 live service.
Woo!
Service. We're gonna do it over Zoom later in the week. We will post on our Instagram, and your small group leaders will have the information about the link. We will not post the link publicly because we don't need to talk to no crazy bodies, but we will get the link to you. And we're gonna have 7 o'clock on Sunday night, a full-scale 912 service live via the Zoom chat. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be great. Make sure you schedule some time in there, put a calendar reminder in there. Like, we think it's gonna be a great time just to interact, have some fun. Cone Palace gift cards will be awarded to the winners of the games. You will definitely want to participate in the games. It's gonna be a great night, great time, so make sure you plan for that.
And your group should be happening after that. So plan like from 7 to like 8:30 maybe.
4
to be
a.m.
able to-
Make sure Kelly
to-
Burke.
Yeah.
And then we found like Zoom seems to work better over like a computer. So if you have that, maybe be ready to jump on that instead of your cell phone.
Yep.
Cool.
That's the only announcement we have.
Did you want to talk TikTok?
I think we should definitely talk TikTok.
Okay, tell us about TikTok.
First of all, TikTok may or may not be appropriate ever. Still up for debate, but
Be
while the
wise.
debate's still happening, we want to make sure we are guiding our eyes from
It does
the
make us
inappropriateness.
happy.
Yes. So there's lots of verses about guarding your eyes, guarding your heart. They're all connected. Like, make sure you're doing that if you're on the TikTok. For me personally, I set an app on my phone, a restriction on my phone where I can only look at so much TikTok a day because it's kind of like a dark black hole. Like, once you
get
start in
sucked
there, like,
for sure.
and all of a sudden the sun has gone down and you just had breakfast. Like, I don't know what happened.
It's a lot.
So, that being said, this week we're going to start posting some TikTok challenges.
Hey.
Here's the first TikTok challenge. If you have a small group leader that you would love to see do a dance to a TikTok challenge, comment on our Instagram, let us know who that is and what song you would like to see them do, and we will publicly shame them until they post it back on our Instagram page, because we all know that's the best motivational topic.
Oh, it's gonna be so cringy.
It's gonna be
It
epic
is.
because I think we have some closet incredible TikTokers on our youth staff.
Guess we'll find
There
out.
might
But
be a
there's
couple,
only one
but probably
way.
His name is Manny.
Yeah.
He's the best one.
Don't talk about the secret weapon.
He's the secret weapon.
So if you got a TikTok that you'd love to see some of our youth staff or pastors,
Hey,
No.
I was just saying, we said small group leaders on
well,
there.
you two are now nominated.
Wow, guys, thanks.
Gonna
Luke
be
has
great.
already done.
I'm already
TikToks, so-
TikTok famous, you guys. I got like 34 likes. Okay,
Oh my gosh.
okay? Just
I just
saying.
want you guys to know that I'm the youngest here by a few years,
It's hurtful.
and I'm on TikTok the least. Like, I don't even have the app. I'm never even on it, so
I get on it regularly.
that's okay. No shame.
I only have a lot of drafts.
So,
No posts.
comment the name or
got
handle.
there? Big ol' bobcat. That's my favorite. It's my new favorite one.
I don't even know.
You're
We
missing.
need to be done.
So comment the name of your small group leader and the
And the
dance
song.
or whatever, and we'll make them do it.
Yeah, we will.
See you guys later.